Hello everyone, welcome to Club Deck Corner here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. We are live on YouTube and on Twitter tonight, so get yourself over to the YouTube channel, get yourself subscribed and get yourself involved in the live chat as we round up a pleasant weekend being a Rangers fan, which I know it hasn't been for ages, but it kind of seems like it was a long time ago. Yes, my name's Scott Carney. Joining me for a game of Connect 4 on the touchline is Ross McLean. Ross, how are you, mate?
Very, very well. Yes, it was a very, very interesting weekend indeed, which saw Rangers pick up 3 points, which is all that matters. And, you know, the good vibes are here. You could say the festivities are here. Anyone who's a channel legend has been watching for a while. They'll be waiting all year to see this. The Antonio Cholak Christmas jumper, folks, is out.
Yes.
It is here.
Love
it is here. It is the 9th of December. It's taken me 9 days, but it's here. So there's good vibes everywhere. And yes, there's plenty to discuss, mate. Plenty to discuss as always.
I love that you've got an Antonio Cholak Christmas jumper, mate. That is good. That's really good. And you'll still get criticised, mate, but you won't get criticised as much for the joke that you made about wearing an England when you wore an England top. So there's wins in there, mate. There's definitely a win in there somewhere for sure. And yes, hello chat. Good to see you all. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, Andrew Moore, Bush Papa saying that a stormy night in darkest southern Scotland. For all you that are not in Scotland, it's not very nice here. It's really not very nice at all just now. We were doing a wee Christmas thing there out on the street, and it had been planned for a while, and I was like, of all nights to do it on, we were going to do it tonight. And yeah, it was interesting to say the least. But yes, getting in the festive spirit, mate. I'm counting down now, mate. I've not got long to go. I finish up kind of mid-ish next week, so I'm very much looking forward to a bit of time off, mate, a bit of R&R and plenty of mulled wine next to the fire. I don't like mulled wine and I don't have a fire, but you can get where I'm coming from. Before we go any further, again, just a wee pointer to our live show. We are doing our 5th anniversary live show. As you say, the pod is 5 years old, which is just absolutely ridiculous, really. It's already 5 years old, but yes, 5 years already. So yeah, the live show being Friday the 16th of January at the Viceroy Bar on Paisley Road West, and tickets are £10. You can get your tickets by scanning the QR code that is on screen, or you can click the link in the description for this podcast to get your tickets. We are very much looking forward to it and seeing you all there. I'm in the process of doing all my wee addy up bits that I need to do before I get to that and make sure all the ducks are in a row, mate. But it's going swimmingly well, which is always slightly concerning when we plan to do anything. But yes, it's going swimmingly well. But yes, looking forward to seeing you all there. Right, Ross, let's talk about Rangers. We'll talk about a 3-0 win away at Rugby Park. I mean, that's something in itself that's not happened too often in recent years. A very pleasing result, a very pleasing result. Not going to take anything away from the result. I had my say on Saturday night after the game. By no means do I think that was perfect, and there was moments in the game that didn't frustrate me as such, but Rangers kind of lost their grip on it at times, and it felt like when you look at the stats, I didn't really feel like Kilmarnock had as many chances as they did, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because we scored 3 goals and I'm not really used to that, but I didn't really feel like they had as many chances as it kind of said it on paper. But look, mate, 3-0 away, December, Rugby Park, yes, I'll take it all day long.
Every day of the week. We've seen very, very good Rangers teams go to Rugby Park and struggle. The fact we've came away with all 3 points on a Saturday evening, no less. Very, very strange, by the way. Such a strange dynamic. You know, sitting in your Saturday evening, you know, folk usually out in the bevies on Saturday. No, you're not. You're sat in, you're watching Rangers at Rugby Park. And quite right, because a 3-0 performance is, you know, that is what we got. And as you say, there's moments we look back and go, right, there's you know, Command had their chances, but at the end of the day, you're scoring 3 goals. Arguably 4, we'll get into it. And you know, I can't ask much more than that from Rangers, not at all. It seems like away games, Rangers just seem to do better than we have at home. You know, it's almost like the lads they've got that buzz, that wee away trip. It's like a wee lads' holiday. It's Tannadice instead of Tenerife in a way. But you know, it just seems that away from home, Rangers have that more about them that I wish they had at home. At home seems to be where we slip up just now. So if we can turn that tide and make Ibrox a fortress once again, that would be nice. But on the game on Saturday, mate, superb. Can't ask for much more than that. And by the way results went at the weekend, it make things frustrating. I'll say that. I won't say it opens the gap back up because I do think we've put ourselves in a bit of a hole, but it just makes matters more frustrating over the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think the Falkirk and Dundee United results back to back for me I kind of nailed my colours to the mast at that point. Thought this isn't going to happen, and it was always an outside chance, mate. Look, you never know. Stranger things have happened in football. We can't completely write that off. The fact that we could be kind of probably dragged back into it, but more performances, more results like Saturday are going to help our cause massively. And I'll be honest, I didn't see a 3-0 coming at Rugby Park. I'll say I'm always honest. I didn't expect Rangers. I thought it would have been much more of a grind. I thought we would have struggled to create, and we had none of that. If anything, we had probably a slight build on what we'd seen against Dundee United. I think in terms of creating chances, I think we built on that a little bit further. But this time we had a striker in Bojan MIOVSKI who decided that, oh yeah, I remember what my job is. My job's to get the ball in this white box thing that they paint on the ground and put the ball in that thing that's got a net on it in between the white posts. And yeah, Ross, I can't, I'm not for a second saying that all of a sudden that's it, we've found him. He really very much has to build on this. But it wasn't just a goal, it was 2 goals, and it's where he took both of them. They are very good finishes, both of them very, very good finish from MIOVSKI. You can't take anything away from him. Clever finishes, especially the second one, the way he kind of reversed it, went to the opposite corner that you would have, everybody kind of expected him to go, and very tidy finishes. This isn't only crucial for us to know that we've now got a striker that can put the ball in the back of the net, but this is absolutely crucial for MIOVSKI himself, because right now, mate, what he's done, he has won himself the jersey.
He has. There's your striker. That's what you've been looking for. That's what you and me especially have been crying out for. I feel that MIOVSKI's been the one guy we've been harping back to, saying, I wish that he'd come good. I wish he'd come good. I hope this is the start, because as you say, both of those goals, first class. I actually watching back at the highlights before we came on there. See, after that first goal, you can see in the boy's face, he is relieved as anything, and understandably so. It's been a tough drought for him recently. But the first goal, you look at it, folk will say it's a toe poke. There's, Chris Boyd is analysing it on the radio.
The king of toe pokes, by the way, Mr. Boyd.
The king
of toe pokes, yes.
Indeed, and he was getting high praise, as Chris Boyd mentioned. The power that he gets behind the thing to be at that angle is superb, and the placement of it is brilliant. And then the second goal's just absolutely perfect. Brilliant ball from Raskin. Takes the ball well, and then just disguises it on to the defender's legs. That's your number 9. That's who we've been looking for. So if you could teach the other 2 strikers a thing or two, that'd be absolutely beautiful. But I'll take the one striker out of 3 just now. 33% strikers scoring goals. We'll take that. It's better than the 0 that it has been the last few weeks. So MIOVSKI, he has earned the jersey for Thursday night for me. And yes, definitely more to come from that, Bojan. That's what we're after.
Yeah, look, mate. I think any of the 3 strikers had the chance of kind of nailing down the start, and whether it's been a deliberate thing by Danny Rule in terms of playing him consistently and not dropping and chopping and changing. Maybe he's thought, I need to try this method, possibly. I don't know. We don't know. He did mention that he had a discussion with MIOVSKI around where he was at mentally, how he was feeling mentally, the things that he thought he was doing right, things he was not really coming for him, and it seems to have worked. The kind of slight tweaks, I think, as he called it, the little adjustments, I think he called it, Danny Rule, in terms of what he's doing with MIOVSKI, it worked, and yeah, the guy put the ball in the back of the net twice, and he's our starting striker now, and it's really as simple as that, and it's beautiful, and I'm hoping I don't want to, honestly, I don't even want to say this, I don't want to jinx them. It is beautiful that we've got Aberdeen back-to-back very soon, and if Bojan MIOVSKI finds his shooting boots, I'm looking forward to that. I am looking forward to that because they'll not enjoy that very much at all. But look, more of that, please, Mr. MIOVSKI. We have been waiting for it, and hopefully now he can really build on that. He can really nail down the jersey, make it his own, and become our striker, and score the goals. These were not balls over the top. These were clever worked goals, especially the second one's a really worked goal. We took advantage of the first goal. We took a wee bit of advantage of panic, really, I think, in the Kilmarnock defence. They all kind of froze, but MIOVSKI was there to take the chance. But the second one's a really well worked goal, and he deserved full credit for his second goal. He really thoroughly deserved it, and I was delighted to see it. We'll continue on with the goals just now, mate, and then we'll go into other little bits. Mikey Moore, I mean, I honestly, when I seen him come on, I thought, on this plastic pitch, I thought the usual thing goes through your head, but I go, don't get injured. What he just shown us is what we have missed in terms of an attacking number 10. The way he takes this, mate, the wee turn, the run, everybody knows when he's running forward with it. I reckon everybody knew he is scoring here. There's no doubt that he's about to curl this into the bottom corner. This is the Mikey Moore I think we all got quite excited about, that we thought we were getting, kind of probably along the same lines of MIOVSKI, that we thought we were getting a guy that can perform, that can take on players, that can put the ball in the back of the net, or that can provide for others. This goal's brilliant, mate. This goal's brilliant, and he's out of everybody in the team right now, and I know it's only MIOVSKI scoring 2 goals, but it's 2 more than any of the other 2 dumplings that we've got at the club have done. And I'm like, MIOVSKI and Moore, they start. They are the 2 that you start and build the rest around that just now, because Mikey Moore in that position, in that kind of more central role, an inside role, as Danny Rule called it, he looks like a very dangerous player. And what a way to come back after an injury, mate. On the pitch, I don't know, he was on the pitch about 5 minutes maybe, and he puts the ball into the back of the net. I literally a top draw goal. Can't take anything away from this.
Never fall in love with a lone player. Honestly,
I know, mate. I think I put a tweet out after he scored, or the one we're going to come and talk to. I said, sign him. Don't care what it costs. Sign him. 30 million, cool, we'll sign him.
Honestly, after a performance like that, a cameo like that, I should say, then it's justifiable, 100%. Yeah, that's the refreshing number 10 that I've been looking for. Let's be fair, for years. You know, I think you go back to, I think, honestly, the closest kind of exciting number 10 I think we've had in a while was Todd Cantwell. I know that might ruffle a few feathers, but in terms of a guy who just had that wee bit of garrulousness about him, just that wee bit of flair. Yeah. He's probably the last guy I've kind of had in mind. So obviously since then we've had Barami, we've had Asgard. Moore's looking like that kind of mould, that sort of, yeah, if you give me the ball, I'll produce some magic with it. And that first goal kind of just shows that in its entirety. The wee turn is just genius. Then you're absolutely prancing through defenders that are not even there. And the finish is just, for a young lad, it's an experienced finish. Honestly, that is top draw. And then the second goal, it's an unbelievable finish, unbelievable angle. The fact that it's been rolled off, and I think he mentioned as well in his presser, for something that wasn't his fault. That's probably the more frustrating thing. He's done it well. Danilo timed the pass perfectly. Everything was spot on, but it just wasn't to be. But I think he won't look back in that for that moment. Definitely, he'll look back at the kind of the beauty that was that first goal. Ever since that, the Old Firm, mate, that we were at, whenever he was in that kind of number 10, that kind of middle position, he seemed to come alive. He seems, I don't know if out wide didn't really suit him properly. I think whenever his debut for us, I remember him being on the left, he went out to the right, he went into the middle for a wee bit just in the one game. I don't know if it's maybe just take a while to find that position. The number 10 is his, 100% is his. I wonder how it will line up on Thursday. Do you chuck him straight in? You know, he's not had a lot of minutes. Obviously, Barami has been good. Will he be injured? No idea. Obviously, we still hear the press. We'll still hear from Danny Rule. I'd imagine we'll probably get that tomorrow, I think. But
yeah, tomorrow.
He's definitely chucked himself in contention for me. If he's fit to play, he starts 100%, because not only is he producing, but he's got confidence about him. You can see that. You can see it after the game. He's got that confidence. That's what this Rangers team's been lacking for a good amount of time. So while that's there, strike while iron's hot and definitely be playing them. So yes, there's 2 players that we spoke about, 2 massive ticks from me. this doesn't feel like a Rangers pod, mate. Honestly, what is happening here?
This is not the usual therapy session we get on a Tuesday, mate. No, it really isn't. But as well, and again, I don't want to. Well, I do. I think I probably do want to give Danny real credit. I think there's going to be elements of that. A manager, a head coach, even not making things too complicated for him. Just there's where you play. There's what you get the ball. That's where I'm going to make sure you get the ball, and the rest is kind of up to you, really. From that point, I'm a big fan of letting players like flair players, as you mentioned, mate. And he's got flair in abundance in comparison to like the Asgards. Like Asgard's not got 1% of what Moore's got. Not that I've seen so far, anyway. And I want players to express themselves. Use your talent, use your initiative, use your footballing brain that you've got. Go out and make game-changing moments happen. That's what you're there to do, and that's what I want from my number 10. Everything that he done, I was like, that's perfect. If he isn't going to take that on and shoot himself, he's going to slip somebody in and they've got a goal-scoring opportunity. That's my 10. That's what I want my 10 to be doing. Running into defenders, making them think about what he's about to do, either creating the space for him to take the shot or sliding somebody in to get a goal scoring opportunity. So I was delighted for him. You mentioned his second goal, mate, that should have stood. And this brings me on to the refereeing yet again. Now, again, for both sides here, by the way, I'm not just saying totally against Rangers. Rangers got very lucky with the Diomande situation. I don't know what he's doing, Diomande, at this point. I really don't. It is just a complete... I mean, a lapse in concentration is probably too kind on him. It's just a total brain fart by the boy. He's watching the boy walk away from him and he just pulls his jersey up. And I think the rule is he had no chance of getting the ball, but I don't know how you can say that for sure, that he had no chance of getting the ball. It's one of the, you don't know where the ball's, you don't know the trajectory of the ball, you don't know if the ball's going to take a deflection, you don't know anything like that. So for me, I'm like, that's a wee bit one that I think we very much got away with, Ross, that I just don't know what Diomande's doing there. It's very silly. This is why that guy frustrates me as well, because he just shuts off in games. He just completely closes down, shuts off, gets lost in the game. At times, yes, he looks like he's up for it and he makes some decent runs, and he did make a few where I thought, well, that was actually quite good, and that was actually quite good in terms of breaking the lines, but then he's got these wee moments in him. But I think we got away with that one, Ross. Do you agree?
Oh, 100% we got away with it, 100%. Because if you look back at it, he's still, as much as, yes, that initial tug of the jersey is outside the box, he's still pulling on, the boy's inside the box and he's still got a hand on his shirt. So for me, that's a penalty all day, 100%. And there's a reason why David Kettlewell got sent off. That bottle got an absolute kicking, because understandably, he would have been absolutely raging with that. So we've seen that from Diomande. And I say we've seen it from Diomande before. We've seen it in a game that's very relevant to Thursday night. That last game against Braga, where he's been sent off. The first yellow, I remember it was just before half time. Absolutely needless. Slid in, absolutely
stupid.
Needless.
Yeah, stupid.
Honestly,
That's a stupid foul.
And that's cost us, because that was the second yellow and now he can't play on Thursday night.
The second yellow was in his defence, and I mean, you don't know my opinions on Diomande. I'm not a fan of jumping to his defence. The second booking is very harsh. I mean, it is very harsh. But ultimately, you've gave the referee that decision because he booked you in the first half for a foul that you didn't need to make.
Yep, spot on, 100%. So it's just one thing with Diomande that I wish it would cut out, because even away at was it Tannadice last season, you saw with the arms flailing out. I know there's the whole soft, etc. But the point is he needs to hold his temper. He needs to 100% hold his temper. Just be a bit smarter.
Just keep concentration. Keep switched on. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be switched on constantly. Like, you just have to be. You don't have time to kind of rest. And Connor Barron's probably the perfect example of that. If you need to see how to concentrate for a full 90 minutes, just watch what Connor Barron's doing. Connor Barron on Saturday night was excellent. I mean, absolutely. He covered all of that fake pitch. He really did. He was brilliant. He was good at breaking the ball up. He was good at carrying us forward. His passing was better. Everything about Connor Barron's performance was one that I went, you're a starter now. Like, you've worked your way to being a name on the team sheet, that you start games. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But all Diomande has to do is look to his, one side of him, wherever Barron plays with him, and just go, oh, that's what the guy's doing.
Oh no, 100%. And there's another player who I look forward to winding up Aberdeen with in a few weeks' time, Connor Barron.
Yes.
He was tremendous on Saturday, absolutely outstanding. So the foul with Diamande, they should have had a penalty. Obviously, the other one that's in there is the Jack Butland slide tackle. It's a belt of a tackle. It is. Don't get me wrong, it's one for the cameras, 100%. But I think if you're looking at it saying it's a red, I think Tav's probably covering the ball. If you look where the ball's going, the trajectory of the ball, it's not a goal scoring opportunity. Is it a yellow? Yeah, probably it's a yellow. I'll probably give you that. But I don't think there's much more to it than that. It's a goalie sliding for the ball. And I less said about that the better probably. But the one's Diamande. It will cost us again in the future if it keeps happening. It's the sort of thing. Another he's a international for his country. He's about to go off to the African Cup of Nations soon. It's not like he's a young lad like a Mikey Moore, who
Well, Curry's just said there that he's not going to AFCON, and I don't know if that's. I mean, Curry, I'm not questioning you at all, but I've not had a chance to even catch up on things today. So, is that true? I don't know. I mean, if that's true, then he's going to himself to blame, really. I think for his performances this season.
Interesting. I need to look into that. I think the only two players I could have thought of was Diamande and obviously Giga going off. I'll have a look into that. But if he's been about the game long enough to know that things like that are stupid, 100%. So I'm gonna hopefully this will be the last time that we speak about Diamande not keeping the head. And as Kai said, it was announced the other day. Interesting. So that's there we are. So at least that's another looking into this busy December period. At least there's a player there who can play some minutes. As long as he's not getting booked every couple of minutes, that'd be smashing, Mohammed. That'd be superb. So yeah, referees. There's never a weekend, mate, that we're not talking about them. Is there? Never ever weekend.
Never. And look, that's my point here is the Kilmarnock can feel hard done by with especially that decision. I think the Butland one, it's a hard tackle. It is, but I don't think it's a red. Honestly, I don't think it is a red. I don't know how I'd be feeling if it was the other way around, but I think it might fall into the orange category. But for me, nah, I don't think there was enough in it. The one obviously that affected us, didn't cost us in the game in any shape or imagination, but it did cost us the award of a very beautifully worked goal, a very, very well worked goal. Fernandez brings the ball out from the back, plays it forward. Shamiti, I think, gives it to Danilo. Danilo slips in, Mikey Moore, and the finish from Mikey Moore is a deathly finish. It really is. It's absolutely superb. A boy that is clearly brimming in confidence, and he's very excited to get himself back into the team. And I thought, yes, sign him. Sign him. I was like, get him signed. This is the frustrating bit because when we seen the replay back, initially I thought right at the very start of the move there was Fernandez, and I thought that could have been a foul. It'll be interesting to see that from a different angle. It then goes to VAR, and it's shown something it's not what I thought. It's a coming together between Shamiti and the Kilmarnock player. It isn't a foul. It just isn't a foul. It's just one of those things. It's not a foul. And if you are, I'm going to try to be kind about it. Clancy is just a bit of an idiot, and he booked MIOVSKI earlier in the game as well. And there was another booking, I can't remember who else he booked, again for reasons best known to Kevin Clancy. And this is just the frustrating bits about the way that the officiating goes in football. They're just not very good. They aren't very good at this, and it affects both sides. I can see why. I think Kettlewell gets sent off, the Kilmarnock manager, for a potential handball. Again, one that I've not seen back, and he booted a water bottle in sheer frustration and got sent off. Not that I care, because I'm not a particular fan of him, so not that I particularly care. But I just wish the standard of officiating could be better, because we were denied arguably the goal of the game.
I know, and that's what makes it more frustrating. It's just the manner of the goal. It's just, as you say, it was a thing of absolute beauty.
Beautiful.
You'd think with VAR that it's literally brought in to get these decisions correct. They've got that one wrong, and they've got the penalty wrong. And that's both ends of it. Very rarely does it actually come into the way it should. I feel there's just many times where you think it's clear and obvious, but no. interestingly, with the Moore fourth goal, again, when I was looking back at it, the angle that they showed, as much as I still think it looks soft on that angle, there wasn't many great angles shown of the tackle itself. So what is he supposed to actually do? Like, look at that one angle where ultimately, you're there on the side of the pitch, you've got fans all around you, and you're looking at this wee screen. It's maybe not the most clear, calm situation to be in.
But then my tinfoil hat will go on and say, well, if it's Clancy and he's got a chance to take the goal away from Rangers, he will do it, because that's just what he is, and that is what he will do, and that's what the majority of them do in Scotland. So I was like, as soon as he went to the monitor, I went, well, he's not giving that. Like, he's not giving that.
No, I mean, there's a definite history there. I'll say that there's a history. But it's a few more angles would have been nice of it, but it's just I'm glad that the game was dead and died when it was, because it will come to these moments again, like it has many times in many different situations, where one decision can literally turn a game in its head and it can win a cup, it can win 3 points, whatever. So I don't know how much more we can keep saying it every week until you guys are put in place. As that's literally what it seems to happen. If I showed up to my 9 to 5 and did that, I'd be at the job centre, Monday morning. I don't know why it's any different for refs. It's and I know that's probably me being naive. I know there's a lot more skill to refereeing than the decisions like that, but it's such a crucial part of the game. It's such a crucial part. So it's such a shame for Mikey Moore. I'm glad that he got the first goal, because if he's coming away, as much as yes, we're buzzing to get on the park, if he came away with just that goal disallowed, they'd be quite flat, to be fair, just coming back thinking, that's what I've done. So I'm glad they got the first goal, but yes, it's one that we won't see in the end of season highlight reels, but we shall remember it for what it was.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, mate. I think we all know the refereeing system in Scotland needs an overhaul from top to bottom. But look, wasn't perfect. Jack Butland was still called into action a couple of times, but Rangers managed to secure the 3 points, and I'll always take it. Very happily take a 3-0 away win anywhere in Scotland. I will always take that. And yeah, with MIOVSKI getting 2 goals, we have to really hope that's the start of something more for him. We'll move on, mate. A few contract things to discuss, and one we actually forgot to discuss last week, which I'll start with, was that it was announced by Joshua Barry at the Rangers Review that Nico Raskin actually has 2.5 years left on his deal. There was a clause in his contract for an extra year, and that's been activated, so he's got 2.5 years left on his deal. Ross, I'm for this, because I'm hoping that Raskin has a very, very good World Cup when he's away with Belgium, and we get a significant offer for him, maybe at the tail end of the tournament. Once the business starts to pick up, because you know what it's like at the World Cup, it's very quiet, and then things tend to pick up after the tournament's finished. So that's good news for the club, good news for us as fans, who were all worried maybe that we're going to see another contract wind down and we're not going to get the money that we'd maybe expect from an in-form Nico Raskin, who has been better. He has definitely been better the past couple of games. He's been better than what I've seen previously from him. But the bit that confuses me, Ross, why did the club just not come out and say, or just release it to like the amount of contacts they've got in like the media and fan media? They could have just slipped out a wee, by the way, Raskin's got 2.5 years left, not 18 months. And everybody would have went, all right, but they didn't for some reason. It's bizarre. But look, it's good news for us, because we have to hope now that we get we have to hope we get the value that we expect to get for him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah. Raskin's still our biggest asset for me. He's still the most value we have in a player, is 100% Nico Raskin. Thank goodness he's signed up, because honestly, the amount of money we would lose if he goes to the World Cup and does put on a performance like he has done traditionally for Belgium. Obviously for Rangers, he's been okay this season. There's been times he's been outstanding. Recently, he's not been great. For Belgium, he seemed to turn it on. He has the biggest stage to go and make a massive offer for himself. If it is a Chelsea down south, if it is whatever he wants, literally, now is his chance to do it. So I'm glad that we've got that wee bit of value tied up in him. Would I like to see Raskin moved on? probably yes, but I'm still also in the mindset of yes, he's maybe not playing great just now. We need to replace Nico Raskin because once he goes, and you'll notice it very, very quickly. He has got that quality about him. So how much he goes for, I think probably does massively depend on this upcoming tournament in the World Cup. I couldn't put a figure on it just now. It's definitely nowhere near the money we were chatting about just a few months ago. So aye, it's one of these ones that you'll need to wait and see. But thank goodness that he's signed up for a contract because we've seen how many players have we seen, Ryan Kent, Morelos, Barisic, etc. How many players go for absolute buttons? So, thankfully there's one there that won't get away for, it'll be £3 instead of £2. So we'll take it at the end of the day. So yes, Josh Abai did break some very, very happy news for me, definitely.
Yeah. And we forgot to mention it last week. Us dead professional podcast and all that, but we forgot to mention it last week. And I was like, and obviously the news that came out today reminded me again. I thought I've still not spoken about that in the pod, so I thought I would start with that one. But we're asking, I think it's just now takes away that little bit of anxiousness we maybe had that we were going to be forced into selling him in the January window because of how long that's left. And again, his value is not at his highest just now. Obviously, it doesn't help the team's not performing to what the levels that we would expect it to be, but he hasn't been either. I think he's been very poor in games. There's just games at Ibrox that I expect more from him. He's a guy with enough quality to be able to dominate a midfield, dominate these lower, I hate saying that, lower teams, because we can't really say lower because they're close to us, but you know what I mean, like the rest of the league, he should be able to dominate these midfields, and sometimes he just doesn't for me. But I think in the past couple of games he has been better, so if he continues that trajectory right through the end of the season, has a good World Cup, then we should be in for a pretty tasty offer from him. But yeah, I think it's good news for everybody concerned, really, that we don't need to worry about that. I mean, he could very much go in the window in January, nothing's impossible, but the offer would need to be really good, I think, for Rangers to even consider it, because Rangers would be like, nah, we'll just hedge our bets on him having a good World Cup. So yeah, good news. The other one that broke today, mate, is apparently reports are saying that John Souttar has been offered a contract extension till the end of 2028. With a wage rise apparently included in it, with a salary increase included in it. Obviously, there was contract talks with him the end of last season, but then obviously the takeover chat kind of ramped up and they were parked. But it seems to have reignited anyway, and safe to say it's not went down massively well, I don't think, with fans. John Souttar for me is an okay centre half. He is, and I put it this way, with Giga and Fernandez there, and Giga hasn't been great, but I don't think it's been. Has it been worse? I don't know. Probably slightly worse, because I would be happy to see the back of Giga in January for sure. I don't think he's even nearly close enough to what we are looking for, but I don't think it would make a massive difference with Souttar either, because Souttar makes mistakes a lot, and the biggest thing about John Souttar, mate, for me is he's far too injury prone. He gets injured a lot, and I know it can be style of defending as well, because he's a very siege mentality sort of defender, but to giving him a wage rise and to extend it to the end of 28, I'm like, nah. I don't think that's decent business. If he's going to be part of the four that's there, and they think they can merit or justify, the wage increase, and he's not really going to be the kind of first choice, then possibly yes. But for me, I think we need to be looking at an improvement in pretty much everybody in the back, on the kind of back line. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think it's kind of came out of the blue a wee bit about John Souttar. Obviously, he's been quite a decent bit just now for Scotland. Not in very high praise, not at all. Like there was definitely a few games I didn't watch them, but the report card was not gleaming from Earl John. But from a Rangers perspective, yeah, I agree. He's a good centre half, but I wouldn't say he's not the Connor Goldson. And I've said that quite a few times. People will be sick of me saying it. We've still not replaced that Connor Goldson. I think Souttar is potentially your good second striker. Exactly, that's what we're after. If you can back,
you never know, mate. But say if you can put the ball in the back of the net, he might end up our second striker, mate.
Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. Well, I've seen a few bullet headers in his time, so John, don't go into the day job, mate. There's a second position there for you. But I think he's a good second choice centre half, maybe a third choice. I think Ali's quite keen on. He's a third choice centre half. Um, Obviously, I will contradict myself because I've also, in the past said we need to keep that Scottish core, that kind of identity.
That's one thing that's in his favour. He's a homegrown player, and he's part of that. This one of the Scottish players, mate. So that is one thing that he has in his favour. Yes, I will give you that. But we can't purely have. He's but then is there going to be more to pick from? I don't know. It's a difficult one because yes, I get it. The whole homegrown thing in terms of European registration of players, but we should be aiming for higher than Suter, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you look at the Scottish defenders that are currently out there, he's maybe one of the better options. But I agree, there's more Scottish players out there that aren't centre halves that could still fill in that that quota, that role, etc. Connor Barron, there you go. There's a folk like that, Lyle Cameron. So I think at the end of the day, if he does sign a contract, I'm not too fussed by it. But we need other recruitments there, not only just because of John Suter maybe not being the strongest centre half, maybe not being injury, completely fine, but because we're still lacking in defence. Like, we will still end this season with a lot of bodies out the door in the defensive areas. So, and the fact that if John Suter, you can't guarantee him to play every minute, then that's going to damn that even more. Looking back at it, last season he played 40 games. The season before that was 41. For comparison, Tav was 58 last season. Oh, sorry, the season before, and it was 53 last season. So he's not playing every week. There's still spells where John Suter will clearly drop out, like he is just now. So
and yeah, sorry, Ross. And in fairness to him, that's probably the longest period of his career, I would go to say, that he hasn't been injured. That I can memory of. No, he was injured quite a lot, so it's maybe a disservice to say it, but ultimately he got injured and he's out till January. It's not like a case of it's a wee knock, he needs out for a couple of weeks. Usually when he gets injured, he's out for considerable months after that. So maybe it's his recovery time. Maybe that's more the downfall of him than his injury proneness, because it's maybe a bit of a disservice considering how many games, as you've rightly just said, he has played.
Yeah, definitely. Like, we've been way too familiar with seeing players. Ryan Jackson one for me. The guy just was it his recovery as well that was kind of the rumoured that was his kind of downfall.
Do not speak ill of Ryan Jack on this podcast, Ross. I'm warning you.
Never.
I am warning you.
Never. I'm a massive Ryan Jack fan. I've had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Ryan Jack, and he's an absolute gentleman. But so again, if he signs a contract, great. But a few more centre halves would be cracking, absolutely brilliant. So I wait to see what business happens in both windows coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I don't think there's many people. I don't think people would be massively against it if we knew that he wasn't going to be first choice. But I think to re-sign him on to be first choice, I don't think many would put up with that. We should be looking for better than that. We really should. And that'll all depend on what happens with the recruitment of the new CEO and the new sporting director. And just on that quickly, in case you don't know, by all reports, Rangers are looking for the CEO first before they bring in the sporting director. So apparently the search for that is continuing on. And it kind of makes sense that you'll bring in his own sporting director and work alongside him. So yeah, watch this space in terms of that. No names rumoured and kind of floated about, but nothing concrete yet. We'll only discuss it when something becomes proper. Right, Ross, we'll finish up with a preview of the Ferencváros game that is in the can't even say that, the UEFA Europa League, even on Thursday evening. Kick-off, remember everybody, is 5:45 on Thursday evening. It's not an 8 o'clock kick-off, it is 5:45. So Ferencváros themselves, they are sitting top of their league pretty comfortably right now, with 2 points in the clear anyway. 1-9, lost 3, drawn 4. In the Europa League, they're actually doing pretty well. They're sitting 6th, undefeated still, with 5 games played, 3 wins and 2 draws. So they're doing okay. They're absolutely doing okay. I don't think this will be an easy game, Ross, especially the form that we have we have shown really in this competition up to date. We haven't been good. It's not been an enjoyable campaign, to say the least. And as I say, we are struggling at the very much the lower end of the table, currently sitting 33rd with only a point on the board. It's easy for us to say, I don't care, forget about it. But Rangers fans, we always want to win. But I think this game is a tough game. If Danny Rule goes out there and manages to get a performance out there, I think he'll be doing very well. I think he'll be doing very well indeed. We haven't shown a massive amount of form in this competition so far, even under Danny Rule. It's one that he's struggled to kind of get going in with the squad. However, we're going into it off a good win against Kilmarnock. Disappointing draws before it. Falkirk game was terrible. Dundee United game was better, even though it was still not what we're after in terms of consistency and winning and picking up crucial 3 points away from home. But coming in it off after Kilmarnock, you're kind of like, right, well, if we can continue on that, then you never know. It is one of these ones you never know. I'm not overly bothered. The club are obviously massively bothered by it because it's financial terms for them. But for any chance for Rangers to proceed, any chance, we have to win the remaining games, and that starts on Thursday night.
That it does, yes. It's very, very unfortunate. Like the way the Europa League was always the one thing I'd get absolutely buzzing for, and it's been blown to shreds this season. So I do hope that on Thursday we can turn that tide. Ferencváros, it will be a very, very tricky game indeed, mate. Anyone who's an absolute legend and who has checked out the old YouTube channel, I went over to Hungary actually to be the best to watch a game, and ironically went to watch their rivals Újpest. So I'm very much in the camp of we do not want Ferencváros to win. A good mate of mine is Daniel over there. I hope you're watching, sir. He's a big Újpest fan, so I should be wearing my Újpest top tomorrow, that's for sure. So Ferencváros will be a very, very tricky game. One thing that I will say, for even the short time being over there, is that the Hungarian fan bases are mental. Like they are just a bit riotous. So chuck that with the the dynamic of the Rangers fans are like, passionate, what have you. It'll be quite an atmosphere. So I just hope that there's a game of football that represents that as well, because in the Europa League, as we say, we've been far from entertaining. So I do hope to see a much changed result, that's for sure. But one game at a time. If it goes off anything what the weekend was, then we should go in there rather optimistically, which is after that Braga game. As I say, that Ferencváros game looked absolutely nothing, But you do have that chance to keep that momentum, keep that tide running, and yes, hopefully with players starting in the positions we want them to, Mikey Bill in the 10, please and thank you.
Yeah, please and thank you indeed, mate. Yeah, please and thank you. And you're spot on, mate. As I said, Rangers just have to go and give it their all now and hope that maybe we get some results going away elsewhere. That this league can change quite the way that the format is. It can change very quickly. However, we have to win. It's as simple as that. Another draw, it's curtains. That's it. Game, set, match. It's over. Might as well just move on and forget all about it and concede the rest of the games. That's not the way football works, but sometimes I wish it was. But yeah, look, it'll be interesting to see it. It's always different going into Europe. The pressure's probably off them slightly because I don't think many are expecting us to really kick on in this competition with all the games, with the only games that we do have remaining. But it's up to Rangers to win it and to give us any sort of chance of progression. That's for sure. Starting 11s and scores predictions, mate, to finish up. I'll go first. I'm struggling with one position right now because Barami's not in the squad for Europe, and also we don't know if he's injured or not. So I would have started him on the left. So what will I do? Butland, Tavernier, Giga, Fernandez, Magoma, Raskin, Barron, Mikey Moore in the 10, Gisaba, MIOVSKI, and I don't know. I really don't know what I would do there. Curtis was okay when he came on. He wasn't amazing. But you're going to need to go for it. Curtis, I'll go for it. Just because attack. So I'll go with Curtis. I suspect it'll be Danilo. I think it'll be Danilo. I think he might play two strikers again. I hope not. I really hope not. I hope he kind of continues on with what he's done there and just as the one striker. Yeah, I'll go Curtis. I don't think Ant-Man's really done anything. I know he's injured anyway, and he's injured, so he's out. So yeah, Curtis. I'm going to go with Curtis. He said he had a lot of options at left side, Danny Rule, and I'm going, who's that? So I'll go with that. I'll go with that team, and I'll go for a cheeky 2-1 win for Rangers and for MIOVSKI to continue his scoring form. That's what I'll go for. Ross?
You've been copying my homework, mate. I've got the exact same team score and first goal scorer. Genuinely, the exact same spot on.
Nice.
The one guy who I was maybe kind of humming and hawing about. I thought Aarons wasn't too bad on Saturday. Could you see an Aarons come in, whether it's at left back, whether
you know, at left back? See, I don't like that left back thing with him, though. I don't. I'm not a fan of it at all.
Yeah, to be fair, but whenever he does go out there, you can see he's very much right-footed, actually. Even there's the argument, do you play Tav further forward? You know, I think Curtis, it probably makes sense to put Curtis in. He's a right winger. As we say, put players in the right position. It probably doesn't make sense to put Curtis there. But it would surprise me if you see Aarons jump in there somewhere. But yes, I'm literally the exact same team score and goal scorer. So positivity on a Tuesday night. Wow, absolute wow. So yes, I hope it does come to fruition. But listen, there's much more important things, unfortunately, this season in the Europa League. But you can never come out of a game that you've drew or you've lost as a Rangers fan and just accept that you always want to win, as we say, always. Yeah. So Thursday night is another opportunity for that, and another opportunity to keep that momentum going, because you know the league, it doesn't look on, but it's never off, because as we saw from this weekend, things happen, points move, you know, and as long as we keep winning, then who knows? But it all starts on Thursday.
Yeah, I think it'd be good for Danny Rule to get a win in the Europa League. I do. I think it would be pretty crucial for him this season to get a win. But as you say, they're all tough games. They really are all tough games. And Rangers right now just need to win all the games in Europe and then see where the dust lies when we get to the end of the competition. The end of this phase of the competition, and then see where we're at. So yes, good luck to Rangers on Thursday. We very much will be tuning in to watch it. That'll do us for this evening. Thank you, chat. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I hope you are all keeping safe. What's this storm called? I don't even know. Is it called something?
Oh, I mean, now's our chance. We've taken what we're going to call it. Storm Alley. Storm Alley.
Storm Alley, yeah. He's on it. It's Ali's fault because he's on a cruise, so it's his cruise liner that's caused waves, I think, and the ocean, and it's coming to us. No, I don't know. I don't even know what the name is. It's just very windy and very rainy. But it's been that's something that I'm going to go off on a tangent here. I don't remember being younger and everything. Just when it was a rainy and windy day, they named it. I'm like, why do we name these things? Why the name of storm? Anyway, stop rattling on, Scott. That'll do. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Ross, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. I shall stay inside from Storm Alley. I shall make sure to keep the windies locked, because it is absolutely treacherous out there. So yes, all the best to fellow Bears and going out there on Thursday as well. It should be a cracking trip for anyone who's heading out there. And yes, we shall be back with our reaction on Thursday.
Yeah, bring 3 points back with you, lads. That would be much appreciated. We'll be back on Thursday with a reaction after the game, win, lose or draw. That's for absolute sure. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week, and I hope your team wins on Thursday. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, all the usual stuff. Buy a ticket to our live show. Why not? It's cheap, £10, easy Christmas present for somebody. Give them a £10 ticket for our show. I promise we'll provide some entertainment, that's for sure. On Friday the 16th of January, we hope to see you all there. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers, everybody.